Well, dang. Let's try that again. Sploosh. Hi! Welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips. So it's with me, your host, Anne, disembodied hands, Quindy, disembodied beard, John, and are you coming, Kiki? Kiki, are you coming? She's like standing there looking at us, like, Come here, Kiki. Do you want to come up and say hi to people? No? She's like looking at me and her little ears going, tilt, tilt. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Yay, we have a Kiki. Oh, it's a good girl. Who's a good girl? Are you? Yeah, you're a good girl. Pretty girl's here. Good girl. There we go. Good girl. All right. Woof. What a morning. What a morning. I guess I don't need this freaking flannel because I forgot to leave my window open last night, but it's probably good because there were lots of spores in the air. Hey, allergy pill, Quindy. There were lots of spores in the air here, yeah, because it rained yesterday. The spores, they were trying to get me all night. But our new air filtration unit came, and it actually, I think, improved things last night. So, yeah, I'm into it. Hi, Gary. Yes. Okay, so here we are. Let's go. And of course, I forgot my freaking green stuff. Some mornings. I'm like, I'm ahead of the game this morning. I'm ahead of the game. Whoa. It's like that. You have days like that? I have days like that. But there I am. So anyway, I'll go get the green stuff in a moment. But first, let's talk about what we're going to do today. And sorry, like I said, lots of stuff in the air. My throat is a little bit cloggy this morning. So, all right. So we are working on our griffin head. Because the model is pretty much done. So we have our griffin head, and he's pretty good. I like this side better than the other side because I gave him more of a smile on this side. I like his expression better. And if I look at him, you can see there's a little bit of wobbliness here. Like if I look straight at him, this side looks more filled out and that side's more flat. Now I can fix that when we go on to sculpt on this ear. That's just something that I will say this now that I've actually played with a 3D sculpting program. Oh my God. 3D sculpting, being able to click symmetry is like the cheatiest thing ever. It's the cheaty thing. Because when you're sculpting in green, you are the one responsible for symmetry. And sometimes you have to go, hey, no barking. Kiki, enough. Hey! Ain't nothing out there. Settle down. Bored dog is bored. Yep, Bork. Yeah. Oh, I'm pretty good at my list, Gary, but it's like when it comes to like actually coming down to the wire on a thing, I'm like, okay, I'm on it, and then somehow I lose 5 minutes. It's like time just evaporates in a chunk out from under me, like the rock of a bridge I'm trying to cross. Yeah, settle down, Bubba. We're all good. Settle down. So what we're doing today is we are going to put the ear on the other side of the griffin. And then I'm going to fill out the cheek here on this side a little bit more. Make it, the lower jaw needs filling out. You can see it's a little bit filled out here. It's not as filled out here. The cheek needs just a little bit more. The eyes are even. The beak is even. So that's good. And the head top is even. So we just need to fill out this side of the face just a tiny bit. We actually haven't ever had a cat get into our yard, a neighborhood cat. I mean, if one really wanted to squeeze under the fence, it could, but most people, I think, keep their cats in this neighborhood. I've only ever seen a few, like, out and about, and not at our end of the street. What she barks at, Gary, is she barks at, we're all really close here. The yards are really small, and so when she hears, like, a workman or a yard person in our next-door neighbor's yard, she'll bark, because it'll sound like it's in our entryway or our porch. Because she can't tell, like, it's 5 feet, right? She just hears a person out there and she doesn't know it's not, on our property. So that is the problem with having closer together houses. But at any rate, so I know why she's doing it. She just has to get the thing that, hey, it's not in our yard. And it's relatively new because she's, 15 months now. In fact, today, Kiki is 15 months old. Today. 15, 16. June, July, August, September, 15. 15 months. And so she's, growing into her big dog persona now, where she has to guard the property. So not a puppy anymore. Well, okay, she's a mega puppy, but in other ways her brain is shifting. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're filling out the green. We're doing the ear here. Once we get that done, I want to add some grasses and stuff around here, just little bits. And we're going to do snow on this base, but I don't know that we'll get to that today because I want to make sure everything's cured. So we'll do kind of a hodgepodge today. We are going to be shifting to Halloween-based stuff next week because October. So we're going to have a new lineup. I'm just going to kind of put these guys to the side that we're working on, except for the witch, who is Halloween. And I'll pick like another 3 models or 4 to do for Halloween. And we're just trying to get those done in October, early November. Yeah, Kiki's a Shiloh Shepherd, but mostly Shiloh Shepherd with a couple other things mixed in. But yeah, the Shepherd, it's a Shepherd thing. Oh no, you got distracted, Cornico. I would get distracted by that too. Good. All right, so I'm going to go get my green stuff. We're going to start with that. We'll see how long that takes us to get our griffin head finished for our basing. I'll just slide that back a little bit here. Slide my camera up a little bit. Sorry, I actually hit my camera when I was rushing to like turn everything on, and it ended up wobbly. So never enough Halloween pieces. Exactly. All right, so I'll be right back. Let me grab my green. Hey, good girl. Hi, good girl. You're vigilant. I know. So vigilant. Such a vigilant dog. Hi, vigilant. Good girl. You are a good girl. Except when you're not. Yep, work, Kiki. Work. Alrighty. Yay. Oh, Lordy sakes alive. So, earlier this morning, my favorite writing coach put out a thing. She does, she answers letters from people who write in. And she was talking about, people who give you advice, or even people like who you see online, giving you advice on what you should do or shouldn't do regarding painting or modeling or anything that you do. And she pointed out what to me is a very good point. And now this is the mindset, coming from the mindset of everybody's personality significantly impacts what works for them. So that's the premise that she's starting out from, because from her experience and the science behind it, it's true. I tend to buy into that because I see it every day when I'm coaching you guys, or, people like you. If I'm teaching, some things will work for one person, they won't work for another, because your personalities and the way you approach a project are totally different. So, coming from that perspective, she pointed out that when you are in a learning situation with an instructor of some sort, you should automatically have in your head the premise that the advice that any given person is giving you, in general, will only work like super well for about 10% of the people listening. And she's coached thousands of people. So she has experience with this. But she also says that for an additional 20%, the advice will work moderately well. Like, they'll get a decent amount out of it. It won't be perfect for them, but it'll help them, right? So keep that in mind when you are listening or learning any particular thing. Shop around. Listen to more than one person on stuff like this. I am making myself do this today, as a matter of fact, because I took an Amazon ads challenge a while ago with a guy named Brian Cohen, who and I really like the way he does things, and I like his approach to Amazon ads, but he has a very specific approach, and so, there's a chance that it won't work for me. And I recognize I could be one of that 70%. So today, even though part of me is like, this is a waste of time, we're doing Brian's method, I'm still making myself watch an Amazon ads webinar with a different guy today who also wrote a book on Amazon ads, so that I can kind of consider it next to my existing methodology, because maybe it'll work better for me. Maybe it will. So even though I'm totally married to the other methodology, I'm making myself consider is this really right for me? Just in case. Now, you do have to kind of separate this out from, if you keep swapping things and keep listening to things and keep, you do it for a long time and you're actually getting no progress at all on your hobby, then ask yourself if you're just procrastinating, because it's fun to learn, but it's hard work to actually execute. Because that's a thing. We kind of back off. We love to learn, and many of us love to learn. Not all of us. So we back off from actually executing. We use the learning as an excuse. Well, maybe if I just listen to one more thing, this will get easier, right? But the fact is, there's always going to be like a pain point there. There's always executing or starting, especially when you're not sure of yourself in an endeavor, is a pain point. There's going to be resistance. It's not you. It's not special. It's like the universe. It's the human condition. Especially if it's like something that you're really, really invested in. Like you're like, oh, I love this model and I want to do right by it. Yeah, that can really get in your way. Okay, good. Mindy got back to you. Excellent. Christmas, New Year's. Excellent. Excellent. That's great. I'm glad, Kodiak. Mindy's good people. And she's super knowledgeable. So if you have any issues with your puppy at all, like reach out to her, because she's, like I said, she has a background as a vet tech, and she's seen it all. Emergency room vet tech, even. She's seen it all. I always turn to her if there's a question about a disorder or just something happening with a dog. And she's very practical and pragmatic about her own dogs. So she's a very practical person, which I approve of. Because I'm not always. But that's great. Congratulations. Pictures, of course, when it happens. I need to see pictures. Oh, bye, Quindy. Be right back. Quindy's the be right back. Oh, people are sick. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Iffy and Marvel. Yeah, mask penguin. So, yeah, it's like there's always going to be that resistance. So, kind of you have to listen to yourself and understand when is it just that I'm feeling pushback, and when is it that that this thing just isn't working for me and I need to actually consider a different way, right? And sometimes you really wish, like you're like, oh, I hope this method works for me. Like you really like the idea of the method, and the method is like, like, oh, this could be fun. I'm excited. And then it's just not working. And you're like, is this me? And it may be you, but not in the way you think. It may be that not that it's your skill or anything, but it could just be that the way that this method works like is better attacked by somebody with a slightly different like mindset or personality or whatever. Like motivation. If you've got an achiever type or competitive type mindset, if that's your personality, you're going to be far more motivated to get better if you try to do painting competitions, right? Or for achiever, if you try to achieve something or hit a goal, or exceed expectations. Like those people are usually good self-executors. Like they'll like take it and run with it. I think David might have a little bit of that competition mindset. It's a personality trait. I have it moderately, but I don't like it very much, so I don't give it much play these days. I'm making a little piece here to start the ear. I don't need too much green because I'm flattening it against the stone like it's been carved out. But yeah, sometimes you've got to game your motivation when you figure out that you're having trouble like completing stuff because you're kind of afraid to start it because you think you're going to mess it up. Like that, the only way to get past that is to actually paint. Like and to not load yourself up with expectations about when you paint. Just paint. Just put paint on the model. and don't make it a big production number, because sometimes your brain will want to make it a big production number. It'll be like, ooh, we have to do well on this. Ooh, this is like so important, or ooh, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It'll get in your way. So it's best if you just relax and enjoy it and understand, especially with this hobby, guys, anything you do can be fixed. Like I screwed up the griffin face. Oh no, what's going to happen? I'm just going to work on it a little more. Like nothing is undoable in this hobby. With acrylic paints, you can paint over anything you do. And if you don't use super thick paint in the beginning, you can paint over it several times before you lose detail. And with sculpting, it's like, well, if it really didn't work, I could cut off part of it and just redo it. So is it more work? Do we hate to do that? Yes, because our minds have that sunk cost fallacy in them. And they're like, but I put resources into this. I don't want to redo it. And it's like, well, so what? You put the resources in, they're gone. You're not going to get them back anytime soon. Do you want to be happy with the project or don't you? Yeah. Yeah, that does happen, Zachariah. I found, especially if I'm burned out, that helps. Because then it's like just kind of a fun hanging out kind of thing. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off of me. And it might work differently for you. Again, everybody's different. So there's my little ear. It's my little ear. I'm gonna turn it into that. But that's what I'm starting with. Little sausage. Let me get my sculpting tools out. It's kind of hard to sculpt things without sculpting tools, you know? Just kind of feeling that way this morning. But yeah, so the whole painting buddy thing can work in many different ways. If you need accountability, then that is accountability. But accountability partners actually backfire with me. So the other things that having a painting buddy can do could just be to, like, when being there for other people is important to you, if that is the kind of person you are, having a painting buddy can keep you painting because it's going to be like, oh, but so-and-so is waiting for me online. I'm not going to ghost them. I'm going to show up even if I don't feel much like painting. And then lo and behold, you will get a lot of painting done. Oh, nightmare. Yeah. And that happens. And yeah, in RF for sure. I have a knitting thing that I started, also a shawl, and I'm like going, because again, it's not like it's hard, but the methodology is weird, and I'm like, it's just not working for me very well, which is a shame because I really love the shawl. But I might have to back out and do something else. So I'm gonna have to take some material off here, even though I thought it was actually a bit little piece of material. It's actually quite a bit bigger than that, so I do have to still spread some feathers down. So I'm going to grab Julie's tool, the kind of leaf-shaped tool. Yeah, if the cat is in your lap, it counts. For some people, it does, Inara. Like, you're like, oh, I'm spending quality time with my kitty. My kitty likes it when I paint because I can spend quality time with him or her. And then you'll do it, right? You'll be like, oh, but so-and-so likes it. It's like in the evening, actually, that works for me because in the evening, what Kiki really likes is for David and I to be in the same room together. So she can settle down and chew her bone and not have to worry about, like, checking on each of us, right? Because that's a shepherd thing. And so I essentially go, well, I've got to sit down and work on some painting stuff for just, even if it's just for 20 minutes, because it'll make Kiki happy and she'll settle down and she'll chew her bully stick, right? So yeah, the obligation to pet absolutely works and absolutely is a thing. It doesn't so much work for David, although I did guilt him into it last night. But he doesn't have to. But he doesn't have to. He doesn't deal with the dog guilt. Well, he doesn't have to catch up on painting as much as I do either. He spends, he's usually spent a bunch of the evening painting already. And then I'm like, but Kiki. And he's like, but I already painted a bunch. Okay, so just like putting in where the feathers will go. And then I'm going to go back and look over here. I think I need a little more material on that first one. So I'm going to grab off my plastic down here, a little bit of my green stuff. Blook. I probably need actually the other part of that, the little one. There. New knitting technique is a big new project. It's something you do all the time. Yep. Yeah, that was me with this, because it's just got a lot of yarn overs, and, like, it's not easy to track the yarn overs to make sure that the holes in the scarf, are like, going out symmetrically. For some reason, I can't get I have a hard time keeping my stitch counter in the right place. Like, when I do the yarn over like they direct me to do it, for some reason, the stitch counter wants to migrate. It's, like, weird. So, yeah, I feel that. Like, I probably should have started a simpler project with yarn overs, gotten really into the groove with them, and then worked on this one. But I love the yarn so much. All right, so let's get our little feathery things kind of figured out here. And the rocks are kind of getting in the way a little bit, so I have to watch it. Stitch counters always migrate. Well, they were migrating in the summer too, so they were totally out of line. I'm just saying. So I need to get some more yarn from this yarn place, but I need to do something a little bit simpler with it because I love the yarn color so much. But I'm like, I don't think I can. This scarf is going to drive me into conniptions. Like I stopped making time for my knitting and moved into other things. Put that time into other things because I was just frustrated. And the other thing I'm realizing is I kind of like the automatic, like you, Kariniko, I kind of like the automatic projects where I kind of put my brain on, you know, whatever mode, and I can watch a stream or something while I knit. Whereas the projects that make me actually have to sit there and consciously count stuff are like really annoying to me because I like knitting because I can multitask. So many of my hobbies I can't. So like, yeah. I probably have to just slowly add in more knitting things and get familiar with them so that I can do more complex stuff without my whole brain. But yeah, I don't have a lot of hobbies that I can like multitask with, and most of them take a lot of attention. Which part of my brain likes. Part of my brain really likes getting into deep focus on stuff, but let's see here. I want to have feather go down, and then this is actually in reverse, so I need to swoosh this feather a little bit the other way. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. I'm going to get the bottom edges of those feathers. Yeah. So anyway, just remember that, like, just because somebody's got a great method, like, take the 2-brush blending thing that Privateer Press came up with. It's really just wet blending using 2 brushes. And when I tried it, it frustrated the heck out of me. I'm like, why would you even do this? This is not my methodology, you know? And I found it very difficult to do. But I really should have been questioning, you know, do I really need this at all? I already do wet blending. I do it with 1 brush, and it works fine for me, you know. So, kind of question, especially today, like, when so many people, including myself, right, we're monetizing what we do because it's how we're making a living. And so they've got, you know, when you've got somebody like that, they've got a personal stake in you buying into their process, right? They want you to watch more hours, or they want you to tell your friends, you know, that kind of thing, or they want you to sub to their Patreon. I am not exempt from this, but I at least will try to tell you guys, okay, that's too sharp. That's too sharp of a crease right there. We're going to try to tamp that down a little. But I'm usually honest with you guys in that, you know, this may not be your thing. You may want to go watch other people, you know. I try to be really honest about that because monetizing my art has been hard for me. I always feel slightly guilty about it, no matter what I do. Like just yesterday, I was trying to fix my Nightbot settings on my personal Twitch channel. And I saw that I actually have done enough on Twitch to actually be eligible for ad content now, like making money off of ads, sharing in ad profits. And I hesitated because I was like, well, I want to, you know, check with part of it was that I wanted to check with my audience, which a lot of them are you guys, about whether it's okay if I run a few ads during my streams. Because right now I believe I've got ad-free viewing, except for probably the onboard. But maybe I'm just totally ad-free. I'm not sure. But part of it was also just guilt. is that it's really hard for me to monetize what I do, even though, I've got like 30 years of experience and a lot of it is valuable to share. I still have trouble with it. Making money. Yay, making money. Do it. Do ads. You use 2 brushes, Pendrake. You switch them out. Usually the person who uses 2 brush like puts the other brush in their mouth or something, or has a holder while they're working with the one brush, and they switch out for the other brush. Run the ads, monetize the art. Yeah, you guys are cool. Pardon me. I am very stuffed up today. Very stuffy. This is what rain does to me. Like, I love rain, but the mold spores, oh my god, the mold spores are real. My body does not like it. But yeah, run ads. What I might do is put the ads on manual so that I start them, and that way I can like say, okay, let's pause for a second, you guys mind? Because it's like 1 minute of ads every 30 minutes or something, or 20 minutes to qualify for ad income. But yeah, so that way I can warn you guys, hey, I'm going to run an ad, I'm going to step back and take a drink and go scritch Kiki behind the ears, and then we'll be back. I think I like that better. When I've watched streamers in the past, I like that. Allergy season there too, yeah. Allergies are totally getting me down. But yeah, I like that better when streamers are like, okay, I'm going to manually hit the ad button. Instead of like having an ad pop up in the middle of what you're doing and then nobody can see you and you don't know. Right? Although they have alerts, but like I'm going to see Twitch's ad alert, in my channel while I'm in the middle of painting something. No, I'm not going to. So yeah, okay, I'll consider that then. But that's just an example. Like, it's like, should I or shouldn't I? Like, does that fit my ethic? Does it fit the way I want to do things? Does it fit my audience? So a lot of you, like, when it's your hobby, you don't have as much skin in the game on that level, but it's still time, right? Time, the one resource we can never get back. And so, do question sometimes whether things are worth your energy, whether the way it's done is working for you, if it's worth putting more time into it. Just because, sorry, I had a little bit too much water there on my ear thing, so I was like wicking water off with my little Kleenex. There. But yeah, I mean, if it's not working for you, don't keep beating your head on it. Even if some other person, even if your best friend or somebody you really respect who seems to otherwise be like you, if that person is having success with it, it might still not be for you. And maybe you'd be getting more mileage out of like doubling down on a different technique. So, not everything works for everybody. And sometimes when people are really pushing their way of doing things, which happens a lot on the internet because they want to get you, and the more sure they can sound about themselves, the more you will be tempted to buy into what they're selling. You got to question that because, what's in it for them, right? And then you come up with a lot of people who are very sure of themselves just don't understand that everybody is so different that maybe this isn't going to work for everybody. Like, I have met painting instructors who are honestly puzzled when a technique that they love, that they have a lot of success with, they've got a student who just can't grok it. And it's like, it's not necessarily a problem with that student. It's just that the way that you're teaching it or the way that the technique works just really doesn't suit them. And there's nothing bad about that. It's just a thing that happens. But a lot of people don't have that level of awareness that there are so many different ways to teach. There are so many different ways to execute on techniques. There are so many different ways to sculpt or to do layering or to blend or to glaze. Like, it's all different. Even the palette that you use is going to make a huge difference, right? So I'm going to try to join those little bits there. I just wanted a little bit more meat here up on the top of the feathery ear. Oh, yeah. So people are going to miss out on information. Yeah, so there you go. So I think then that it's better if I manually run the ads. If I just set a timer next to me And when the timer goes ping, I say, okay, let me wrap this, and then we'll start the ad. Yeah, I mean, painting it's good to make time for painting even when you're in the middle of crazy, just because it can take your brain down into the relax zone a little bit more, which is valuable when crazy is surrounding you. But I understand how it can get shoved to the back of things when you're working on other stuff. So I'm just getting those little ear feathers and smoothing out that. And again, if there's little joint problems or something, when you're sculpting a stone item, it's actually pretty easy to like make that into a crack or something. So it's not like... it's stone, Twistoma. It's stone just like it's coming out of the mountain. That's why it's got this. So I'm going to, when I paint these stones, I may actually make them a slightly different color. I haven't yet decided, but I think I'm going to keep them mostly brown. Or mostly gray. I'm going to put some browns in there as well, but this will be a stone. So, so it'll be painted as if it's stone. Just going to flatten these out a little bit. Using my rolling tool to do it because it'll smooth them as well. My clay shaper. This is probably one of the tools that I use the most since I started it. The Taper Point Clay Shaper Extra Firm. Like, it's really, I have reached for other clay shapers, but I seldom use them for much. But I love my Taper Point one. It's just so nice to smooth things with. You can flatten and smooth at the same time. That's good. Roll that over the top. It's really good for smoothing in clay. Well, that's fair. But I mean, I can at least make an effort, Pendrake. I don't think anything's ever going to be perfect, but I can at least make an effort to make it a more enjoyable watching experience if I'm going to monetize, essentially. Because that was why I went and said no ads in the beginning, right? But at that time, I didn't qualify for revenue share. Twitch has changed its parameters since then, and I get a decent number of watchers. I might get partner, honestly, if I streamed more often, but you know, there's only so much time in my day, and I have a lot of different things I'm into. Plus, subbing avoids them. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that, you know, when you have a lot of Twitch people you follow, subbing to everybody is usually not feasible monetarily for many people. All right, so I'm going to create a little paddle here. I want to fill out this side of the griffin's face, because remember, we've got a little bit wider of a face on this side, and I want to fill it out just a little bit on this side down here. Maybe bring in this, like, rock thing there. It's probably going to be fine, honestly, once this rock is painted. But I want to maybe... I'm just looking at it. I think it's okay, but I want to bring in a little bit more beak, I think, right there. So I'm going to need very small amounts of green just to make these little adjustments. Jeez, Caerindra. But yeah, I'll look more into it. I'll go over and actually, I did not have time yesterday to get drawn into that particular bunny hole. It's just that my brain was like, because, you know, I'm doing okay, but I'm still like, I don't make a lot of money. And so every time like something comes up that's like, you know, maybe I can make an extra $50 a month. That's not inconsequential to my income. So I'm not a poor Anne, but I'm an Anne who makes, I guess I'd probably make below the poverty level when you just look at my income, not David's. I mean, our household income is fine, obviously, but I would like to have a little bit more money so that I could travel and go to cons, you know, like if I want to go someplace, I could have a little bit more financial freedom to do so. Because there are things that I just don't, you know, David and I only have one joint account, and it's really for just groceries and household supplies. So everything that I choose to do, Otherwise, like if I want a new iPad, I'm gonna have to save that money. And when you make $25K a year, that's me. It's not very much extra left over. Okay, so I made a worm, and I'm pretty much shaping it, starting to shape I want to bulk out the cheek here and a little bit of the neck down here. So it's in a pretty good spot there. I'm going to grab leaf tool, Julie's leaf tool, which is so very useful. They're rubbery pendrake and probably like are nice to chew on. On Twitch, most people expect to see ads. Yeah. Yeah, and also because Caerindra loves the clay shapers, so, you know, obviously there we go. So take your tool, place the clay, try to put water on your tool so your clay doesn't stick to it. That might be a good step, Anne. Sigh. Some cats are just chewers. I mean, one of my old cats loved to chew, I mentioned this before, I loved to chew on Bretonian spears. I had a bunch of Bretonians, and she would chew the spears off of every one. Get down there. There you go. Because they were chewy. It was thin plastic and it was chewy. And she just liked to chew. There. There, we finally have it in place. Bulking out the eye on this side. That'll be good. Okay. Yeah, although dogs are usually the ones that are cited as chewy. Some cats are as well. So I'm going to just blend this in a little bit with my initial metal tool, and then if I need to smooth it, I'll use a little bit of my clay shaper. Since this is such a small area, small tools work a little bit better than the huge clay shaper, but I can still do a bit with the clay shaper's nose, the end of the taper. No, not pewter, plastic, Bretonians. Yeah, lances. But honestly, she likes spears too. They were plastic, not... Metal's not chewy enough. And also, metal, to most animals, is not a chew object, but rubber and plastic tend to smell alike. And they like those. Plus, I mean, some dog toys, some dog bones are actually plastic chews. And that's what Nyla bones are. I have a Nyla bone. Kiki's chewed them in the past. Yeah, any adhesive, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, adhesives can be that way. They can be tasty. Especially old ones that were derived from actual animal products. That's why books can be dangerous if you have old books. Your animal can absolutely go, oh, that smells really good. You mind if I take a bite out of that? All right, so let's bulk out the cheek a bit more. And grab the rest of this green ribbon. I'll have to wait to look at my Twitch dash until the weekend. I don't know that I actually fixed my Nightbot, but I haven't followed the link you gave me yet, Quindy, the one that linked to where all my old commands were, because maybe I used a different thing to log in, but I'm pretty sure I used my Painting Big to log into my Nightbot last time. So I'm puzzled, but I'll tackle it again. It's just that this week I have a lot of actual work to do, and my Twitch stream is a lower priority than getting the rest of this in. So I'm just going to sculpt right over these two little rocks that I did. I'm going to tuck them in. This rock is big and chunky. I need to keep an eye on, but that's pretty good. Like, we have this bigger section here, and now we've got a bigger section here. We've got to flatten it a little bit. Decoy brushes. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I've said before, I've had cats in my past, and they're lovely animals, but not having one right now, I'm okay with it. No litter box is good. I've managed to get David, like, totally into being a Kiki owner. Like, he's becoming a dog person, but I think he's very selective, and I don't know that he would go for a litter box. I would be the one who had to clean the litter box out all the time. Plus, we don't have a good place for it. There are some homes and apartments that you just look and you're like, oh yeah, litter box spot. And some that you're not. All right, I feel like I need to slant it backwards, and I'm going to be pushing it over this rock, and then I'm going to split them. So I need to have it flare out a bit more to match the other side. So a little bit more flat. And push it back. That's more of a plate. That looks about right. That evens out the side a lot, actually. Yeah, you have a full house, yeah. Yeah. I'm even questioning whether I really want to keep one of Kiki's puppies if she has them. Even though I wanted to use Kiri's brother and get a Kiri niece or nephew, smooth coat Shiloh, because I really want a smoothie. But I just don't know that I want a second dog. I really, really like having Kiki, but I was talking to David about it, and he's like, if we don't get another dog and when Kiki goes, you're going to be so happy that we can travel again without having to worry, because I worry so much when we travel. It stresses me out now, and I don't like it. And he's like, but you're also going to miss having a dog. And he's right. So now I'm going to split this again into two rocks like it was. I'm going to just put a nice line down the middle, and then I'm going to work it out. Yeah. Yeah. I like the robotic one. When you only have one cat, the expensive robotic ones, like, they are expensive, but they're pretty cool. So I'm using the side of the hockey stick tool here now to indent, to make a crack between these stones and make an angle. I'm going to be putting some down there as well, some more green stuff, so I'm going to make this blend in. I think I'm going to grab my clay shaper on this one. Yeah, I worry about them when I travel a lot. Like, when we go to Hawaii, it's going to be an effort not to worry about Kiki. Even though I trust CJ, I'm like, it's going to be, it just really, really stresses me out. I didn't know, like, I'm not sure. I think the last time when I had all those, when I had 4 dogs, I think it was that, like, I was traveling a lot, but I was without my partner at the time. And so he would stay home, and he was much more of a homebody, and I would go and do stuff. And then, I knew that he would take care of the dog. Like, when I traveled to Bridget's for the LER and David stayed home with Kiki, I didn't worry at all because David could take care of Kiki. But when it's a stranger, I'm just like, I'm never sure. Oh, nice. That's smart, Twistedoma. I guess Shiloh's during other people's vacations. That would be funny. Although, I know a breeder who does that, Pendrake. It's like, she lives close enough to several of her puppy people that when they go on a trip, she'll just take their dogs. Because she they grow up being close, and the dogs know her, and they're her puppies, out of her dogs, so. But yeah. It's just that out here, like, I don't have the resources, like, I don't have the close friends who I used to have to help with the dog sitting. I'm going to just green this in a little bit more down here. Well, yeah, they do. I mean, I got this at Around Rover. And that's one of the things that they do is they send you texts if you want them. It'll probably help, Pendrake. I don't know what it is, though, that I just get this stressed about this now. Much as I missed having a dog when Kiri was gone, it was nice to be able to just take off, just travel, just go somewhere. So, I don't know. This might be our last dog, or maybe we'll take a break once Kiki is gone and not have a dog for a little while, and maybe I'll get another one further down the road. But I don't know. There we go. Hey, our face is evened out. Woohoo! Sweet. Now, I might be able... I don't really want to resculpt the beak. Much as I should have a little bit more of a curve down here to make them match. Because as you can see, this guy's got a little pouchy bit here, and this guy doesn't. Also, I don't have the curve for the nostril there, so maybe I should do that. I guess I should maybe do... I'll see what I can do. It's going to be really titchy. Mr. Mo. Mr. Mo the cat. Sounds cool. All right, so I need to do the nostril on the other side. I'm going to take a tiny bit. A tiny bit of green stuff, like, and I mean a tiny bit, and see what I can do here. And I have to be careful because I've got fresh green going on a lot of places now. And I don't want to smush anything. So I'm going to keep that. I think I need Tiny Spoon. Tiny Spoon to the rescue. Tiny Spoon, I need you. Oh no, Tiny Spoon. Tiny Spoon has compromised the bag that I'm storing him in. Okay, Tiny Spoon. Hey there, bots. I am currently working on making the two sides of my griffin head symmetrical. I didn't do a very good job of the right to left symmetry when I started out, but now it's getting much closer. But I'm just trying some little mods now. I have to be careful, though, because I have a lot of fresh green at various areas on this now, and I have to not smoosh it. So I've got my tiny spoon out to try to work this beak a bit to make it more like the other side. Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Jason Weeby used to do that a lot before he switched to digital. There we go. Now I've got that curve to that beak a little bit better. Now I need to put the nostril on the other side. I started the nostril and didn't finish it on the other side. That's pretty easier. And then we've got to set this down and think about our vegetation. I don't like it, bots, because if I use either of those things, then I have to wash the model before I paint it. I tend not to remember, not to like it. So I use water. This is meant to be stone, so smoothing is less than important. I don't mind if it's a little rough. To make sure my nostrils are symmetrical. Must have symmetry in the nostrils, folks. Need to go down further. But yeah, we do a fair amount of green work on here. I have my reasons for not liking to use Vaseline and stuff is just the washing thing. I don't like it. So that's just my lazy factor. So, but yeah, I mean, I learned green stuff from like the Reaper sculptors. So, but yes, those are all good tips. In fact, we have some of the Reaper sculptors right here in the channel. So, Bob and Julie, who still work with green stuff a lot. There we go. Now we got it. Just looking at where I'm going. I want to bring the beak more like, I want to smash that down. Hey there, MG. Yes, you. Yeah, it is. I mean, we've talked about this before, about whether the green stuff art's going to be lost. And I think that as long as people are doing conversions, it won't be. I mean, it'll become a lot less common. You won't have as many people who are like teaching it actively, which is a shame because, I mean, it's still the thing that I reach for if I have to do something like this. Although we did do the under armature with oven baked clay to get the shape of the head. Only banned on Lucas Dream. And we get that little nostril going on there. Look. 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 But yeah, I think that as long as people are using green to convert, and when you're using it to convert, I mean, there are still plenty of people who do significant sculpting with it. My boyfriend, haha, he's been promoted long ago. My husband, among them. When you want to do a sculpt on a styrene or bones model, green stuff's what you're going to reach for. So I don't think it'll be lost. Like, I think it's a lot less common. There we go. You're banned here too. Just going to use a tiny spoon to pat this down a bit. Got a little bit of got a little bit of asymmetry going on now at the top of the beak. So I think I might put a little bit of green on and build that up a little bit. Gotta be careful. Oh, you want to be banned too? Or, yes, green users in the chat is Julie Guthrie and Bob Rodolfi. So, and yes, they are still teaching green, and Studio DKS is Derek Schubert, and they still teach green as well. So, don't fear. Don't fear. Stupid little thing. Come here, you. Come here, little green bead. Yeah. I mean, CNOT, it makes a big business out of that. Bots. Have you looked at CNOT Bush? Christopher Notbush on he does Twitch streams. He gets huge audiences on his Twitch streams. And he's using cosplay. He's actually the one who got me to buy a box of it. So he uses this stuff, which is a polymer clay. And he actually sculpted. He's on the box art. That's a CNOT. And I like the cosplay is pretty good. And I like doing bases. If I have to do a big display bases, yeah, there's a shout out to CNOT. You might want to follow him. He's really chill. His streams are awesome. He does one-off commission sculpts of like monsters and huge things, like big statues out of cosplay. Oh yeah, I think it's less common for the really small stuff these days for sure, bots. Because the green stuff, I mean, it depends on if you're doing vulcanization or if you're doing rubber molds, right? Oh, Saragnon, yeah. Yeah, I like cosplay. Like I said, I did the basic kind of chisel shape of the griffin's head. I did the armor because you wouldn't have wanted to do like it would have taken forever to build up a green on this. So I did the basic underpinning of the griffin's head in cosplay. I think I might. Yeah, I'll just put down a little bit. I think I need less than that. Less than that. Let's chop that piece in half. You always either need a lot more or a lot less green than you think. But when you're sculpting, it's usually less. I've learned this. But yeah, you're right. Miniatures, I mean, I don't think Reaper would even take a polymer clay sculpt. They only wanted sculpts done in green, last I checked. I think we tried one time from a different sculptor than we usually used, and it did not do well in the mold. And so Ed was like, nope. And Kevin was like, nope. But I think that if you're doing rubber molds, or not rubber molds, silicone molds instead of the vulcanization rubber molds, you might change that narrative. I just want to smooth the top of the beak here, so I'm just putting a strip down the middle, checking my profile. I'm okay with it. Yeah, it does. Oh, there is, huh? French lady doing Monster Hunter? Yeah. Well, you don't have to understand what they're saying to, like, still enjoy watching the process, right? I'm going to smooth this in. Oop, oop. Trying to just define where my edge here is on the nostril material. That's good, pretty good. Look at the top, flatten it down more. Yeah, Siocast. I mean, Reaper's doing Siocast. That's what Bones USA is. But I think for that we're mostly using 3D resin. 3D sculpted resin, but I mean, we're putting other stuff on it. I don't know. I kind of assume that for Siocast, Reaper is doing its normal mold process, whatever that is. For 3Ds, I think it's getting it in resin and then mold. But yeah, I'm not sure on the Siocast how they're doing it. I don't know how Siocast like particularly works. Kevin like showed me a demo the first time I came back to ReaperCon after they put the Siocast in, but I don't remember all of it. Yeah, I mean, Siocast is worth it if you're doing, like, you know, I don't know how much your own sculpts you produce to sell. I'm gonna smooth this side in. Because I don't know what your business model is, bots. If you're a full-time creator. Or even a part-time creator. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth, smooth. Oh wait, it's time for the smoothie tool. But yeah, the Siocast seems like it's an expensive proposition unless you're a miniatures company, which is what they're targeting. There we go. I see. Yeah. Yeah. If you're doing low volume and you're doing, yeah, that makes sense. That resin would be better. There we are. Excellent. My clay shaper is really good at smoothing things. It makes me happy. Yeah, for sure, Pendrake. But I don't know what the current process is with the 3D sculpts. Like, I think it's resin, using the resin master. Yeah, for the metal stuff, for sure. You're right. We're going to blend this in just a little bit more. Actually, considering how small of an area that was to work on, I'm pretty happy. Pretty happy with how they came out. Still slight differences from side to side, but you're gonna, I think with an organically sculpted piece, you're gonna get that unless you're really, really trying hard to get symmetry, which I was not. The last thing to do is to give him a little bit of eyeballs. And I have to really watch it now because I've got wet green on both sides of the model. Do you like him, Julie? Should I start sculpting? Maybe I need to sculpt a griffin. I love griffins. They're one of my favorite mythological critters. This head turned out better than I thought it would. Yeah, it's fingerprint stabbing time. No! I don't want fingerprints on my griffin. I could bulk it out a little bit more down here, but I don't want to. There. Go for it, sculpt a griffin. I do love them. I'd have to think about it. It's dangerous now. I'll tell you, Julie, I know you and Bob are very, very invested in green and natural putties, but if you ever did want to try out 3D sculpting, Nomad is really, really intuitive. It's surprising me. Considering how crazy hard it was when I first watched them try to explain ZBrush. I'm glad I was sitting next to Andy at the con and he was showing me stuff. All right, so let's try a little ball like an eyeball like that. If I showed you guys my little Nomad project, you would laugh. It's just this little cartoon cat. It's technically an alien cat because it has 3 legs, but 3 feet. But it's like a chibi. It's like a chibi cartoon. So simple. It's so simple. It's like the baby steps. I think this is going to be okay. We'll see. We'll see. It might be a little bit too big, this ball of green. Yeah, it is. All right, I'm going to cut it in half because I just need a little bit of a rounded area in here for the eye. So I want to cut this in half. Yeah, alien. Yeah. Yeah, David told me to try it on his iPad, and essentially what the amount of RAM, because I wanted one with a lot more RAM, and if you have a lot of RAM, like 16 megs, or 16 gigs of RAM, sorry, you can do, big things, like dragons, but if you have a system with, 8 megs of RAM, or I guess David's iPad has 6, you can still use it. It's just not going to perform as well. You're not going to be able to do complicated stuff with Nomad. Yeah, see, bots, it's like my husband tried to use Blender because that was what we were first using. Well, we got a 3D printer. I guess I should lead with that. We got a 3D printer for the first time for our Christmas present to ourselves last year. And we've been finally using it. And so David is wanting to alter stuff in Blender a little bit. And his big complaint about Blender has just been that Blender's trying to do too many dang things at once. It wants him to animate his stuff. It wants him to do all this. He's like, I don't want that. I just need a simple sculpting program. So I started trying to use Nomad because, like I said, Andy Pieper sold me on it at ReaperCon when he was using it. And I decided, I started using David's iPad for it. That iPad only has, oh no, it fell off. Only has 6 gigs of RAM. Or megs of RAM. I don't even know what thing we are. It only has 6 rather than 16. So I won't be able to do anything big. But what this lets me do, Pendrake, is I get to use it and see if I'm serious about it. Because you guys know, you all have this hobby. This hobby will grow like a many tentacled monster. Oh, I shouldn't have mentioned tentacles because Luke is in the chat. I'm already going downhill and he hasn't even said anything other than hi. But, like, you're like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And then you get the thing. Yeah. You get the thing. And then you don't use it, right? Not at all. Quindy's like, oh, no. It's just Luca. He shows up. My mind goes downhill. But anyway, so I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be like, I want a $1,600 iPad. And then I never use Nomad, right? So what I'm doing is I am doing a really, like a for beginners basic tutorial on YouTube on our iPad with Nomad. And that should be enough to tell me, is this really going to be fun? Do I really want to do it? And if I use it, then I'm allowed to put money toward a $1,600 iPad, which can run it properly. Yes, Luca has that effect on people. I just was telling, I think I was just mentioning to the stream that it would be cool to go to Monte San Savino. We won't make it this year because we have too much other travel planned. But I was like, yeah, because I could meet, cool people or see cool people like we've seen at the cons. Like we could see, Ben Cummett. So we could, I could meet Robert Carlson in person finally. And after talking to him online, and then I hesitated, and then I'm like, and Luca. That was mostly for dramatic effect, Luca. I really do want to meet you in person. But I want to have something cool to bring if we go to Monte San Savino. So I need to work on something. Oh, you go in 2024? All right, cool. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Andy recommended a guy for me, and then I ran into Dave Reed. And Dave Reed is like super chill, and I really like his super chillness. So I'm just sculpting the little thing that he gives. So I have to be careful here because I really want to rest my pinky on that beak to work on this eyeball, and that would be fraught with peril because the beak is not cured. Yeah, stick in there. I've got too much water in that socket, and it's resisting. The putty is resisting. But yeah, I'll make a note of Steve Conley too. Thanks, bots. Let me write that down. Sticky note. Because there was a separate guy that Andy learned from. And essentially there's a ton of people out there. Steve Conley. I need to look up the one that Andy referred me to too. But that's on my chat, so I can look it up anytime. But yeah, I like Dave Reed's style. He's got a Udemy course on it also, as well as a bunch of YouTube. So let me see. I need to take the water out of that eye socket. Yeah. Wait, okay, I'm not missing anything. I'm only missing Tentacle Talk. Got it. Tentacle Talk. That could be a new Lucas show on his Twitch channel. Ah, okay. It's definitely sad. 1 second. Let me get this eyeball dried off. The eyeball is like, no. Okay, that should work. Okay, eyeball. Now get in there. There. It will, but it'll take time, Nikesi. It'll It'll take a lot of time to dry, and I want that eyeball to be done. There we go. So let us push the edges in. I just want to, because these are just like holes in the head right now, I just want the suggestion of an eye in these sockets. Although I don't know, maybe I like it better without it. Now I'm looking at it and I'm like, huh. I think I like what I did on this other side, where it's kind of, I could see a little bit of an eye, but I can see, all right, let's try to do that. Oh, that's good. I'm glad, Luca, that you're feeling better. That's no joke, having something like that going on. All right, I'm going to take half of this out. There. Mirror tick, I wouldn't even go there. All right, so I'm gonna try to make kind of a little, kind of like the other side. I like that. Just going to try to get something close. Kind of a suggestion. Don't know if this is going to work. I might have to rip it out. So there's just that, and then there's that. So I need to get a little eyeball shape here. Yeah, this might not work. Might not work, but we'll see. So first I need this part. There we go. I'm starting to get it. I'm going to take this out here. The thing I like about Tiny Spoon is it's got a very, very sharp edge. I'm just keeping an eye on the Luca Babble in chat, but I don't see the need to comment right now. That's a little better. Yeah. So I've got kind of that little tiny suggestion of an eye there, and I've got it on this side now too. They're not perfect, again, they're not perfectly symmetrical, but it's close. It's better than a gaping hole. How about that? So now that looks like that, which is kind of the same as it looks like over here. It's close anyway. It's close. And I'll take close. I can see a little bit where I need to smooth about the beak right here. A kiss on its little beak. That's the cutest eagle. It's a griffin. It's got little ears. But you can say it's an eagle. It's okay. It is adorable. I like to sculpt cute just like I like to paint cute lately. I'll admit it. I like cute, and I cannot lie. Maybe once I finish sculpting this little test chibi cat thing, I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll print it. Just gonna smooth this a little bit, and then when I think we're almost like done, like I need to put a few grass tufts on this, and then we won't be doing the snow base until after Halloween, because I'm gonna switch to Halloween stuff this coming week in October. So for October, we're gonna do a October spooky paint-a-thon. I want to just do that a little smoother. I love this the clay shaper because it gets stuff so smooth. It really does a good job. And I can be really titchy with it because the tip's actually pretty fine. So There we go. It is cute. It is cute. Oh, Luca. You know, the thing about having Luca in your chat is no matter what you say, it'll be sus. It'll be suspect. So you may as well just embrace the madness. There. Quindy's like, no! Yay! I'm happy. He looks really close now. He looks much closer on both sides. And that's what I wanted. I wanted more symmetry. I can see a little place under his little chin that I need to smooth out, though. It's obviously green and it needs to be more like stone. We are painting a lot of ReaperCon stuff in October. We're going to continue our work on the witch that we're working on. But I'm going to at least paint... I think we're going to paint Ed, Necromancer Ed with the skeleton. And I want to paint the Mouseling Wraith and the Mouseling Warrior fighting him. You want to boop it? He's cute. I can't help it. Yes. Yeah, because a lot of the stuff we got from ReaperCon... Well, here, hold on. Let me go grab them. It will give this time to set before I put a fingerprint somewhere on. I'm amazed that I haven't put a fingerprint on it yet. I'll probably find one after the stream. Hold on. I get the thing. Yeah, I think we're going to do... Because we are going to do... I have several minis, actually, planned for after, like, to swap in. Like, you know, we are going to do the giant Sophie, eventually. The giant Druid Sophie. We're going to totally do her. We're totally going to paint her. Hi there, Kiki. Did you hear Luca was in the house and you wanted to say hi? Luca, Kiki says hi. Oh, the box fell down. Kiki said hi very, very, very briefly before the box fell down, and she had a... It's okay. The box isn't going to get you. The box isn't going to get you, you huge dog. The box fell on the floor and now she thinks it's a toy. But, so we're going to paint the Mouseling. And I'm probably going to do a smaller rotation. Like, maybe we'll just do 3 models. Because it'll let us finish everything in October. So we're going to do the Mouseling Undead Hunter versus the Mouseling Wraith. I love the Mouseling Wraith. It's so good. And then we're going to do Ed the Necromancer, the Ed Tribute Mini. We totally have to, because we did the Kathy Tribute. We're going to do the Ed Tribute Mini, summoning the skeleton. And then we're going to finish the Witch, who we're working on now. But yeah, I had thought I had one more spooky one. Maybe I don't have another spooky mini. Maybe it'll just be 3. Hi there, Kiki. Hi. How are you? You're a good girl. Yeah, the Mousy Wraith is so good. So we'll be doing those. And since both of these are 2 models, it actually should take us a while to paint them. So yeah, I love the Mouse Wraith. It's great. So yeah, so that's what I'm planning to do starting in October. I've got to prep these guys. Pardon me. Let me put this over here, Kiki. Look out. I have the Barbarian from ReaperCon too, but he's not terribly spooky. Although I guess I could paint him spooky. You know, now I'm thinking about it. He'd be kind of cool to redo as a vampire. Like, paint him vampiric. It'd let us do a lot, because he's got a lot of skin. It'd let us do a lot of vampiric skin tone. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. She's a Shiloh Shepherd. She's mostly Shiloh. Come here, you. Come on up. Come on up and say hi. Oh, get up here. Yes. Oh, big feast. Yeah, her ears were folded back, so I'll forgive you. I know Leonbergers look like Shilohs when their ears fall off here. Put your ears up. Yeah, there you go. Put your ears up, you silly girl. No namen. No namen on the Fitbit. No namen on the Fitbit, young lady. Oh. Down. No teeth, young lady. No teeth. She's still a gigantic puppy. She's, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do this dude. And he is called Bloodbeard. It'd be kind of cool to do a vampire barbarian, actually. That would be kind of fun. Maybe I'll do that. Because I want, like, 4. I think that 3 models will go through it too fast. Maybe I'll hold them in reserve in case we get close to the end and we're going to be done with everything. But yeah, Kiki is cute but mouthy at this point. You know, she's a teenage dog. Oh, you find out what's in the ghoulie bag? Oh, yeah, that's true. October's coming. Alrighty, yeah, let's touch up the under the chin. Actually, it's 11. There we go. That mini became 100% better by making him a vampire. Yeah, let's do that then. I kind of agree. Because, I mean, painting him as a barbarian is like, okay, but you paint him as a vampire, like, that got turned into a barbarian that got turned into a vampire, then he's cooler. So yeah, let's paint him as a vampire then. That'll be fun. Vampire barbarian. Yes, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. I'm in it. Okay, cool. And it is just about that time for Luca. So I'm going to finish just padding in this chin. You can see it's kind of rough. I'm going to do it off stream, just right at the end here. Kiki will be very annoyed because she'll be like, Mom, it's walk time. But yeah, so we'll do that. But yeah, let's plan on those 4, which is actually 6 minis, because they're, you have the little skeleton, and you have the Mouseling Wraith and the Dudette trying to fight. So yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe I'll put a little bit at the corner. I don't know how bloody. I actually don't like painting blood and gore unless it's really, really subtle Pendrake. I just don't like the look of it. I think it's very hard to execute well. And it just tends to look messy. So, like, if I can do it classy, I'll do it, but I really don't like just tons of blood and gore. This is why I never went for Khorne when I was painting Chaos. Which mini is the Barbarian one? Bloodbeard. I put him back already. But we'll paint him as a vampire and have fun. It'll be good. It'll be good. And, I mean, it just goes to show, you really can. Yeah, I'm all for classy vampires. Yeah, a little bit goes a long way, and a lot of people just do too much, in my opinion. I just am not into it. I'm not into it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do some blood spray on his axe. Yeah, it's the one from ReaperCon. Yeah, we'll paint him as a vampire. It'll make him more interesting. All right, Kiki, what are you eating? It's time to go. It's time to go. Kiki is attacking my office. She's like, it's time to walk, and you better get on it. They're sculpts. Well, they're the ones that I showed you. They're Cyocast. All the ones that I'm going to be working on are Cyocast. So they're plastic sculpts. All right. Yeah, toothbrush application for the blood spray for sure. All right. So yeah, so we will work more on those tomorrow, because we're still in this week. We'll be working on Angry Link. So we're almost done. We haven't touched his sword yet, but I got a lot of the shield. The shield's looking really cool, actually. I really am happy with the shield. I need to highlight some of that purple, make it a little more intense. We need to highlight the purple on the back a little bit more. And we need to do the sword. And there's NMM gold around the rim of the shield that we haven't done as well. So, but overall, I need to highlight a little bit more underneath here, but I'm happy with how the shield is looking. So tomorrow, maybe we'll do the sword. We'll do some NMM steel. And then we'll mix up our gold and do more of the stuff on the shield. We're getting really close. So yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he's getting there. And we haven't done his eyes yet either, because for some reason, if a mini's looking at me, it's done. That's just my mind. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for everything. And Luca, enjoy your stream. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.